Hola creative friends, today we're going to talk about Joan Miro. The abstract artist Joan Miro was born in Barcelona, Spain, April 20th, 1893 and lived to 1983. Joan Miro, as an abstract artist, was one of the founders of many different types of art styles. One style was called Dada, which is a style that was described as very playful or childlike. Another was Surrealist, very dreamlike. And another one was called Cubism, and you might have seen work by his friend Pablo Picasso. So let's take what we've seen here about Miro and make our own project using materials that we have around the house. The supplies for today would be foil and Sharpie markers. Unless you don't have Sharpie markers, you can use regular markers. If you don't have either, then I would suggest finding some crayons and some paper. So, as you've seen in Joan Miro's paintings and his sculptures, he used shapes that were kind of organic looking, and they intertwined, and they were kind of free, like in a dream, like in a surrealist painting. Or Dada is when it's considered like a child saying, "Oh, da da da," meaning childlike. Those are names of different groups that Miro was part of. So if you look at the painting, this is the same one that's in the classroom. You'll see that the shapes, when they overlap, they become different colors. So what we're going to do today is take the foil idea, and we're going to draw with a black or a dark color, whatever you have. If you have markers, I recommend you using Sharpies. If you don't have Sharpies and you want to use regular Crayola markers or whatever you have, that's fine. Just be careful and use a paper towel to lean on, because the ink of the marker will smear on the foil. So what we're going to do is we're going to start similar to Miro and draw a line and let it become an organic line. And maybe lines intersect. Don't make too many lines, because what's going to happen is every line that you create is going to have to be colored, or a pattern has to be created inside. So that is with my black Sharpie. I use the thin one. If you have a thicker one, you want to make thicker lines, then do that. Not a bad idea. Okay, then you can use the Sharpie markers or the other markers. Just again, remember that the colors will smear if you're not careful. Pick any color you like to start. I do want to protect my hand from the marker smears. Sometimes Sharpie does smear a little bit, the others smear much worse. So inside the shape, if you want to fill with a color, you want to create that fence, right? And then you color inside the yard up to the fence. So in this case, my yard happens to have green grass. That's perfect. Now inside there, I could use different lines and shapes, different colors to make a pattern if I like. Maybe I can do a dot pattern. Just be very careful. Make sure you're on a flat surface, because if you press hard, you'll go right through the foil. And I use regular aluminum foil from the cabinet. Let me try a thicker marker. I haven't used these. They're brand new out of the package. Let's see, in this space, I trace inside the shape as my fence, and then you fill it in just like you would with a broad nib on the other markers we have at school. This is a broad nib, means a wide nib. That's called a nib. Tips of markers are made of felt, and the felt sucks the ink from here to the nib. All right, so that is my first color. Now I'm gonna try to use a different color. Maybe inside here, I can do a pattern of stripes. Cool. All right, so every new shape that I created is going to be a different color. So let's see, let's try orange. Again, use the paper to protect your hand. Okay. And I just fill in the shape. Okay. All right, so I'm filling in the shape with my one color. If you don't have a lot of ink in your markers, make your foil smaller and your design will be able to handle your supplies, because I don't know what kind of supplies everyone has in your house. Now, if you don't have markers like I have here, maybe you have colored pencils or crayons, then get yourself a piece of paper and do it the same way, just not on foil. But I love how the foil creates this sheen through the color. So I'm going to continue working and you can watch my fast motion video.